All right. Rev Al Sharpton received a call from Bill Clinton, who was doing damage control yesterday, Friday. He went on your program. It was a pretty civil exchange. How angry you are at that?
I think a lot of us were angry at the assertion that it was a fairy tale campaign. President Clinton said on the radio show that it is not what he said. He said that the claims by Senator Obama that he was not opposed, he had opposed the war in Iraq all along, was not true, and he quoted Obama as supposedly saying in 2004 that he would not have known how he would have voted for against the war, which he's criticized others for, and that Obama once said he and George Bush had the same position. I think that we'll have to see if, in fact, Obama made those statements. If he did, then I think Mr. Clinton then has something to hang his hat on.
Beginning with the former president who took on Obama's statements about the war in Iraq.
You said in 2004 you didn't know how you would have voted on the resolution. You said in 2004 there was no difference between you and George Bush on the war, and you took that speech you're now running on off your website in 2004, and there's no difference in your voting record in Hillary's ever since. Give me a break. This whole thing is the biggest fairy tale I've ever seen.
Now, Representative Jim Clyburn, the senior black congressman in South Carolina, says we have to be very, very careful about how we speak about that era. He's talking about civil rights. It's one thing to run a campaign and be respectful of everyone's motives and actions. It's another thing to denigrate those. That bothered me a great deal. He's talking in this case about Hillary, saying that President Lyndon Baines Johnson was the man who really got civil rights going, not Martin Luther King.
And I think that is true. I agree with Congressman Clyburn, who's been neutral as I have in this race. And I've said to all the candidates that they have to be careful how they desecrate civil rights activism and leadership, who sacrificed a lot. And to trivialize that into some partisan primary stuff, I think is belittling to all of us that need that movement then and need it now.
Assertion that he peddles false hopes, saying hope has driven great American accomplishments such as the civil rights movement.
Dr. King standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. You know, this dream thing, it's a false hope. We can't expect equality. False hopes.
Clinton told Fox this in response.
Dr. King's dream began to be realized when President Lyndon Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, when he was able to get through Congress something that President Kennedy was hopeful to do, President before had not even tried.
Today, Senator Obama used President John F. Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to criticize me. And basically compared himself to two of our greatest heroes, saying, well, they gave great speeches. President Kennedy was in the Congress for 14 years. He was a war hero. He was a man of great accomplishments and readiness to be president.
Do you think that Hillary Clinton is going to lose the black vote in South Carolina and in the other super-duper Tuesday primaries coming in the first week of February?
I think that Senator Obama will get a lot of black votes in South Carolina and other places.
I think that the reason the polls were so wrong about Barack Obama's supposed victory in New Hampshire was because people lied to the pollsters, just like they did in New York during the David Dinkins, Rudy Giuliani mayoral race. People are ashamed or embarrassed to say they're not for the minority candidate. They lied to the pollster, and that's what
Well, if that is the case, and a lot of us believe that, 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 then that also means that race is still a factor. And a lot of us are trying to act like we are where we want to be rather than where we are.
He doesn't need to play this kind of games. Is
it going to cost him?
Absolutely. I don't think we should be playing the race card at this point.
I don't think we should be playing the race card at any point. And one of the things we're going to be talking about are the number of people playing a race card. including, of course, Al Sharpton, in a sports venue, for crying out loud.
Came from Senator Obama's campaign, and I don't think that it's the kind of debate that we should be having in our campaign. And I certainly believe that each of us should do everything we can to bring people together, not divide Americans.